The entire world is now admitting that Iran holds the keys to global energy markets. Well, this shouldn't be a surprise. Iran warned that this would be the outcome if it is attacked. The United States should have listened, well, it didn't, and now everyone is paying the price. Nobody can blame global oil shortages on Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz today. Why? Well, because on March the 18th, there was a new wave of escalation. Israel launched effectively a war on energy infrastructure inside Iran. This is a new escalation. We're just climbing that escalation ladder every single day. Israel has struck Iran's South Pars gas field, which is the world's largest natural gas field and a core pillar of Iran's energy supply. The major escalation came alongside reported impacts on other oil and petrochemical facilities in the Asaluya area of Bushehr. Immediately, Iran retaliated. It didn't wait, and it previously warned that it would retaliate by attacking those states that allow the United States to launch attacks on Iran from their territory. So in response, Iran launched retaliatory strikes against Saudi and Qatari gas facilities on their territories. After Saudi Arabia was struck, Qatar's vital Ras Laffan refinery was struck by missiles. Even before the United States and Israel hit Iran's South Pars gas fields, global energy markets had been in a complete state of chaos. Now everyone is in trouble because this is escalating and escalating very quickly. Oil is trading at $150 per barrel in Asia, and the same oil is trading at $100 per barrel in America. Iran is now planning to impose a 10% duty on all ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. This will generate approximately $73 billion a year, which will completely offset U.S. sanctions and may pay for a portion of war damages. Now, this has yet to be confirmed, but there are certain Iranian officials who communicated this plan earlier this week. Now, let's examine the impact of rising energy prices globally. We will begin with Asia because this is where things are really, really bad. In Asia, energy chaos is accelerating and it is not going to stop there. This is going to spread. The more we climb that escalation ladder and the more destruction the United States and Israel cause. And you ought to remember here, as any sovereign nation, Iran is doing what? Iran is defending itself. And we have to be crystal clear about what Iran is doing. It is defending itself. Iran was attacked without any credible source stating that Iran was planning to attack the United States. There was no intelligence data that pointed to Iran being an imminent threat. It was not. So we're not the good guys here, and now we're actually paying for this aggression, and we're going to pay at the pump, at the grocery store, and everywhere else because energy prices affect virtually everything. Here's what the Council on Foreign Relations writes about the energy chaos in Asia. In many Southeast and South Asian states, consumers are panicked, stockpiling fuel, cutting spending dramatically on everything but essential items, and trying not to leave the house. These actions, along with inflation, are likely to depress growth across the region, even if the war ends relatively soon, since it will take time for the Gulf's oil producers to rebuild and get production back up to pre-war levels. Asian governments are in constant energy triage, but even with these attempts to manage the crisis, many Asian states will run out of oil and gas within the next month and a half, according to the International Energy Agency. Malaysia, Brunei, Japan, and China are exceptions to some extent. Malaysia and Brunei are oil producers and exporters, and Japan and China have sizable petroleum reserves. Many have cut government work weeks, called for reductions in air conditioning, and begun releasing whatever strategic reserves they have. Many countries are also enforcing fuel rationing and directing limited fuel supplies to essential locations like hospitals. In the United States, gas prices soared past $3.75 per gallon on Wednesday, March the 18th. The same day, VP J.D. Vance warned of, quote, rough times ahead. He said there is a rough road ahead with soaring prices. Now, in the United States, Donald Trump temporarily suspended the Jones Act to help with soaring gas prices. What does that mean exactly? Well, Trump allowed foreign ships to carry crude oil and gas between U.S. ports. The Jones Act has been a very controversial law, but the suspension is effectively a way, or an attempt, we should say, to bring down prices at the pump and to secure supplies for military and national security operations. The attack on Iran by the United States and Israel trapped hundreds of tankers and thousands of crew in the Persian Gulf, which is the center of Middle East crude oil production. And so this waiver that was announced on March the 18th could reduce gas prices by about 10 cents a gallon on lower shipping costs from Houston to East Coast markets. In the end, what we're witnessing isn't just another regional flare-up. This is a systemic shock to the global economy, and one that was entirely predictable. The escalation around Iran's energy infrastructure has exposed just how fragile global supply chains really are, and how deeply the world depends on stability in a single, highly volatile region. Once the balance was disrupted by the United States and Israel, the consequences rippled instantly, from energy panic and rationing to surging oil prices and emergency policy responses here in Washington. What makes this moment especially dangerous is that it's not contained. This is not contained. This is escalating by the hour. Each retaliatory strike, each damaged facility, and each new policy response pushes the situation further up the escalation ladder, tightening supply and amplifying uncertainty. Markets don't wait for clarity, remember, they react to risk. And right now, it is clear that risk is everywhere. The broader takeaway is unavoidable. Energy security is geopolitical security. Decisions made in Washington and Tel Aviv are no longer confined to military outcomes. They are directly reshaping the daily lives of billions of people across the globe. From families paying more at the pump to governments rationing fuel in Asia, the cost of escalation is being distributed worldwide. Unless there is a decisive shift toward de-escalation, this crisis won't stabilize, it will compound on a daily basis. And as it does, the world may be forced to confront a very hard truth. In an interconnected energy system, there are no distant conflicts, only shared consequences. And this is precisely what we're experiencing today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this quick video was interesting and helpful. I appreciate you.
Thanks for watching International Trade Talk, where we simplify global trade and business insights for you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.
Watch our next video to stay updated with the latest global trade trends and market insights. See you in the next episode of International Trade Talk.